So we just had the Clash Mini Discord stage channel wrap up, and I did want to share some of my thoughts and just kind of honest reactions with it. Obviously, still very sad that the game is getting killed, but based on the explanation and answers that they gave us, I will leave a link to the full stage channel down in the description below. It'll be on Santos' channel, but it's not uploaded at the time I'm recording and posting this video, so just look out there, and I'll also throw it on my community tab as well. But it sounded like they decided to kill the game because of progression and economy, which is what I figured. They said they kind of got around to doing things too late when they first launched the game. They had 1 million downloads in 3 days, which is a record-setting download for a Supercell beta, they said. And then their 30-day retention was like 3%. So that means 1 million people downloaded it and 30,000 people continue to play the game. Yeah, that doesn't sound too great. But it also sounded like they didn't really start doing anything with the progression and economy until like after update 5. They didn't have a dedicated person to it, and Fan was just like, he's pulling the Thanos and is like, fine, I'll do it myself type thing. And it was just like one of those things where it just sounds like mistakes were made, and the team admits those mistakes, and that's what ultimately led to the game's death, which is unfortunate. And I think the hashtag Save Clash Mini that we have put on has really kind of been a reminder to Fan of like how much this game meant to a lot of people, and how many people continued to love and enjoy this game, especially towards the end, right? Like they probably went from 30,000 to over 250, 300,000, maybe 500,000 with update 8. But yeah, it just sounded like they started doing economy too late. They paid attention to the economy and progression too late. To which my question was like, why even announce the game if you didn't have a progression plan? Like, progression is such a major part, especially Supercell's ecosystem, where they want people play the games for years to come. If you don't have a clear progression path, why are you even putting it out into the world in the first place? So it just kind of seemed like wrong place, wrong time for Clash Mini, and now we're at the point where the game's dead. As a standalone app, it's being added into Clash Royale, and we did touch upon like that part a little bit. It sounds like they're not really close. They're still very early talks for it, but Fan is excited to take on the challenge. It sounds like there's going to be it sounded like 90% of the team is like switching over to the Royale team and going to be working on Mini in Royale. So we could potentially see something in the next year or so. They did say that Mini was built on like the engine of Royale, so it sounds like it should be a fairly plug and play thing, and it's more so just going to be like the balance of the game, how it's implemented into the game, what that all looks like, and everything like that. So I'm just going to kind of talk about my initial thoughts in this video and like recap what was said on the stage channel. So obviously none of this is like confirmed 100%, but this is like Fan's thinking from what he said on the stage channel was he would love to see Mini be implemented into Royale as a standalone leaderboard. So it sounds like it's going to be its own game mode, which is incredible, but it needs to not be on the events tab. So like on the main screen right now, there's like Trophy Road, Path of Legends, and then once Mini comes in, I'd like to see a third option that's just Clash Mini. Kind of how I'm picturing this, and I'm going to do a whole other video deep dive. I need to do more research into Royale's economy, what it's like as a free-to-play player, maybe start a brand new free-to-play account, see what it's like, and everything like that. If you guys want to see that, let me know down in the comment section below. But I do want to explore that and be able to give feedback to Fan directly on how Royale can be, or how Mini can be implemented into Royale. So when we asked about that, he said he wanted it to be a separate leaderboard, and then we obviously talked about the pay-to-win aspect of Royale and how it costs thousands and thousands of dollars. Like, if you're not putting in years into the game, you easily have to spend thousands of dollars to be able to even touch like Path of Legends, Top of Ladder, anything like that. Like, sure, some very small percentage of players can do it if they like dedicate a lot of time and become like very skilled at the game, and if at that point you might as well be competing in CRL. But so talked about that, and he's like, yeah, I haven't like because it's so early, haven't really thought about that aspect. Like, Mini has prided itself on being a free-to-play game, no power progression and everything like that. And they mentioned like other auto battlers, TFT, Dota Underlords, Auto Chess, whatever it is. They don't have power progression, and maybe that's the reason why Clash Mini failed, is because auto battlers just don't have progression. It was hard for them to come up with a progression and economy system in Mini, and it just, they didn't have time. They ran out of time. They didn't have a plan for that side of it up front, and it just flopped. And that's kind of what it sounds like. But they nailed the gameplay. So hindsight 2020, Mini's coming to Royale. Fan was extremely touched by the hashtag Save Clash Mini and everything like that. We got it trending in the gaming area. So if you go to Twitter right now, it could still be trending for you. There was, I think, over 20,000 posts. I think maybe even closer to 30,000 posts with it just yesterday alone. And fan said he cried. He was very touched that he made this much of an impact. He's been working on the game for 5 years. He was very touched that he made that kind of impact on the community, and like all of us creators, like our videos weren't really like sad. We were just like expressing how much passion and love and care we had for Clash Mini. And I think that resonated with him. And I think he's even more hungry now to make Mini a huge success in Royale. And to be honest, I think Royale needs it. I started my channel covering Royale back in 2016 to 2019, 2020. And that's when Royale was kind of at its peak. After in 2019, 2020, it really started to decline. Had a little bit of a spike when Champions came back. But yeah, seems like from the outside looking in, at least, this is just my perspective of it, seems like the community's not too happy with how Royale is in its current state. Of course, we know the game is pay to win. Like, we know that. So it's going to be tough, but just my initial thoughts. Like I said, Fan wants it to be like a separate game mode. He wants it to be like separate leaderboard because the gameplay is drastically different and everything like that. Just wishful thinking here, but here's like my initial thoughts. I would love to see, like, obviously we had a bunch of skins in Clash Mini. Would love to see skins implemented into Royale. They tried this before. Hopefully Mini can like show the Royale team that like, hey, your engine actually does a lot more than you think, and it actually adds troop skins to the game. We only have tower skins and emotes. I've been asking for troop skins for like years. Like from when I covered the game, I was like, throw skins on troops. Have like, when you select a card, it's like, what variant of the card do you want to use? Have one with like, the archers have, I think, a blue cloak. Give them a green cloak, give them a red cloak, give them a black cloak, and let that be a skin. You select that variant, and then it changes their in-game model. I'm not a game designer. I don't know if that's difficult. I would imagine it's not easy, but I would also imagine it's not impossible. So I would say do that, because there's a lot of things that artists can do with the game, and that's another way to hugely monetize Clash Royale. And yeah, I think that's one way to do it. And it also preserves the skins that we had in Clash Mini. It also provides a new monetary route for Clash Royale. And maybe with that, with the costs that they make up there, they could potentially shift the economy and make the game a little bit more free to play, draw more people into the game. Because when a game is more free to play and feels rewarding to play and progress in, that just helps retention, helps your player base. It provides a healthy player base for the game. And I think that's what Royale needs. Royale has been seen as this like drastically heavy pay to win game that locks everything behind a paywall. Can't get it unless you play the game for 6 months and then you get that one thing. It's just been tough. It's been tough. The community's had a rough go. And I hope with the implementation of Mini, it can kind of show the Royale team like, hey, this is what can actually be done with your engine, and kind of shift things up and shake it up a little bit. And maybe we'll have a very strong Royale come the end of 2024, early 2025. But in terms of Mini being implemented into Clash Royale, I would just love to see it as a separate game mode. Put the game in as it is. The gameplay is phenomenal. Throw it in there. Figure out the balance. Make everything tournament standard, level 11, like the stats of level 11 when I say that. And don't do any power progression with the mini mode. Keep it as is, keep the gameplay as is, filter out spells, filter out building. Actually, if you want to play with spells, go ahead. We talked about potentially adding spells into Clash Mini. There are spells in Clash Royale. See what it looks like. See if you can play around with it. Buildings, maybe we'll see it. Maybe the board will be bigger in Clash Royale. Maybe instead of the 4x5 area on one side, it becomes a so it's 8x10. Well, no, it's 4x10. Maybe there's a different way to make it better. I don't know. Or wait, is it 4 back, 5 across? I don't know, 4 back, 5 across on each side. I'm not doing the math for it. Let me know in the comment section below. But anyway, keep the same game mode. Keep it as is, gameplay as is. Put the abilities in there. They're just characters, separate game mode. It can be coded separately, I would imagine, much like the other game modes in Clash Royale. So keep a tournament standard. Don't put any power progression into it. Once you unlock a card in Royale, it's playable in the mini mode. It's maxed out. You can upgrade it to 3 stars. You can do all that. And the other beautiful thing about this too, and in my opinion, is very beneficial to the already existing Clash Royale community, is if you look at the characters that are in Clash Mini that can be ported over to Clash Royale, y'all are getting content for like 2-3 years at this point, right? If you think about it, Skeleton King, champion in Clash Royale, hero in Clash Mini. Monk, champion in Clash Royale, hero in Clash Mini. Archer Queen, champion in Clash Royale, hero in Clash Mini. All the heroes that exist in Clash Mini, Barbarian King, Battle Machine, Pink Fury, Grand Warden, Countess, Natureborn, those can be champions that are implemented into Clash Royale, and those will be like, that is a ton of new content that Clash Royale is getting, and they need to figure out how to keep up with the mini team at this point and implement those things, because that is just going to make the game so much better. Champions can be heroes. You kind of have like the rarities already built into like the CR economy and like how people unlock those and everything like that. But again, no power progression. So once you get the unit, you can play it in the mini mode, and just keep it as is. So those are my like initial thoughts on how I'd like to see Mini implemented into Royale. I feel like it can be a great thing. I feel like Royale needs something new. It can't just be the same thing over and over and over again, because at that point, like, you killed Mini the same reason that Royale is having struggles right now, that it's just the same thing continuously and nothing changing with it. So we'll see. And if you're watching this as a Clash Royale player and you have not found my channel and you somehow made it to this point in the video, thanks for watching. And also let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. And to the Clash Mini community, if you are still watching to this point as well, leave hashtag save Clash Mini down in the comment section below, and definitely share your thoughts. If you haven't played Clash Royale, give it a try. I know it's a little bit painful right now, but if the game's going to be in there, I want to be able to provide feedback that I can. So I'm going to be doing research, playing the game, and everything like that. In terms of my channel and what's coming next, stay tuned for that. I'm going to be releasing a video on that in the near future. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully Fan does this right and continues to save Clash Mini.